Oh yeah, age and pronouns, please.
19. A boy, man.
He, him, she, her, they, them.
Oh, he, him.
Thank you. Which prompt do you disagree with?
Let me see, because I didn't get to read it all. Though. I just wanted to join. Body count doesn't matter. So, what do you mean by body count doesn't matter?
So I think that if a man has an issue with a woman's body count, it's rooted in misogyny or insecurities, and that gets projected onto body count mattering. It doesn't make the body count matter. It's just a man's interpretation of what that body count means to them.
So, how I guess how I look at body count is based on who I want to date. So, if I kind of got a woman and she has a higher body count than me, or a high body count in general, I don't really find that really attractive. And I don't really want to date that. You know what I'm saying? It's just. I guess it's my preference. I don't find that person bad or anything like that, or I don't look at them as a terrible person.
The
I
reason
just
it doesn't make sense to me is because you're saying that you're attracted to a number, and that to me doesn't make sense. Like people
no,
aren't.
not a number, but
But what
it's more to me. It's more about how much you respected your body.
Okay, so that's the misogyny aspect, right? Is because you're assuming that someone choosing consensually and safely to have schmex with X amount of people has lowered their self-respect. That's your projection onto them. That doesn't make it true. So that's why I'm saying it's rooted in one of the two. That would be a misogynistic take towards a woman by saying she has low self-respect. That doesn't mean she does. That just means you think she does.
Okay, I can see that. Well, I can say like they don't really respect. They don't really see schmex as important. How I see it in my opinion.
So you can say they might not view schmex in the same way as you in terms of the person. That's fine. But again, that's then not a body count issue. That's actually just you two having different views on schmex. So for
Yeah.
example, let's say you didn't ask her body count and you said to her on a date, hey, just out of curiosity, how do you view schmex? And she said, oh, I think it's something that can be fun. I think it's something that can be intimate. And I think it's something that can be done when you're not in a relationship. You can then deduce from that whether or not you'd still want to date her. But you didn't need to find out her body count for that. You needed to find out how she views schmex. So therefore, that's not a body count thing.
Okay. So it says man who demands submissive. It's about submissive partner or two simply. Okay. So what do you mean by that? Can you explain that to me real quick?
Yeah, so essentially, if a man feels like he needs to be with a partner who's submissive, he's essentially wanting someone who's not willing to challenge them, not willing to speak up, not willing to have opinions, and just wants to do everything that he says, or like he has to have the final say. Ultimately, that's getting quite close to like a adult child dynamic, like father daughter, because there's an authoritative stance of that. So
Is it
if you
right? I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. Okay. So is it right for me to say that I want both parties to be submissive? I want to be submissive, and I want her to be submissive, and I want to be. I want the relationship to be where sometimes I listen to you and I be quiet and I just listen because you know more. You're more educated on this aspect, and then sometimes I want you to just listen to me because I'm more educated on this aspect. But you can say how you feel in that moment, but I still want you to listen to me. You see what I'm saying?
so why can we not remove the word submission and just say that we both respect one another in the relationship? You know, like there's going to be times when you talk about something you might know more of, but it doesn't mean she can't have an input or get involved in the conversation. So she doesn't now need to be quiet about it or just listen. Like you should both just listen to each other when you're talking, regardless of what it is. Like
Okay.
applying this idea of submission creates a power imbalance. That's not
Okay.
normal in relationships.
So say for example, say my girl finna go out, right? And she's going to a club, but she's wearing a provocative outfit and I don't feel comfortable with her wearing that. Is it wrong for me to speak out and say, baby, I don't really want you to wear that. Can you change? And she just don't and she listens, she don't say nothing. She's like, okay, I'm gonna respect what he's saying, I'm just gonna change so it won't be really nothing. And then say I go out, right? I go out and I'm wearing something that's provocative on a male's body. And she said, "Baby, can you change for me? I don't really feel comfortable with you wearing that." And I just listen, and I just go do what I got, and I just go do what I do. So would that be submissive or
Have a look at this prompt at the bottom.
men telling their partner what to wear is upholding? What? So if we're both telling each other,
Let me
each one
explain.
what we don't,
Let me explain.
huh?
Let me explain. If you're telling your partner that she needs to change her clothing, right? Ask yourself the reason why. You saying it's too provocative, right? What is the knock on effect that you think makes that matter?
You said what? My bad. I don't. You said what? What's
You
the
said,
effect of?
you said that it's because it might be too provocative, right? What is the knock on effect from her supposedly wearing something provocative? What is it you think is going to happen
Um, unadded attention. Um,
from men?
from both for both genders. It can be lesbians. It can be, well, I don't know if I can say that on here, but it can be
Yeah. Are you telling me that you are worried about a woman coming up to your partner and saying something about her clothing in comparison to a man?
both sides really, because most of my female, my girl, my woman, she my partner, my bad, she went out, and you know what I'm saying, a couple lesbians came up to her and try to speak to her and stuff like that. A couple dudes try to speak to her. I done experienced that. And sometimes a woman got physical and be like, they got physical with her, and they tried to try her one time and she wasn't going. So I was just like, it wasn't her fault. I didn't blame her at all. I just told her, I said, like, just kind of watch your surroundings. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the issue, right? The issue is it's great that you didn't blame her, but the second you tell her she should wear something different, you are inadvertently blaming her. You're not saying she's at fault, but you're saying you can do something about this so it doesn't happen again, when in actual fact, it's not the clothing that does that. So you're kind of focusing on the victim in that situation rather than the behaviors of the perpetrators who weren't respecting boundaries or potentially objectifying her. So the reason why it upholds grape culture is you telling her to change essentially says, make sure it doesn't happen to you, but it happens to someone different. I only care if it's you that doesn't get that kind of attention or behavior. But if it happens to a different person, fine, because you're basically accepting the behavior of those men and women that you gave in the example and saying, I can't control them. I can't control what they do, but I can control what my partner does if I try to push that narrative. So because
Okay.
I'm saying that's why it upholds it, because you're not actually looking at the issue. You're kind of saying, just make sure you're not the target.
Okay, but the reason, okay, so when you said the other people, I'm not okay with it happening to the other people. I can't control. Now I'm trying to say I'm trying to control my girl. I'm trying to say I can't speak for the other people and stuff like that because everybody's different. But and I don't love everybody else like that. You know what I'm saying? But I love my partner enough, and I want to prevent things from happening. It's just like what's a good example for that?
Have you seen the What Were They Wearing exhibit?
You said what?
Have you heard of the What Were They Wearing exhibit?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so what they were wearing exhibit is all different clothing that women and girls and femme-presenting people were wearing when they experienced grape or SA. And this clothing is from nappies to school uniform to full burqas to anything. And the point of it is to represent the clothing is not the issue. And the reason why this is so important is because let's say that someone did experience grape or SA and they went to court, right?
Hmm.
And the person who has to defend the perpetrator of that says, look at what she was wearing. She was wearing this type of trigger warning to the chat. She was wearing this type of clothing, so she was asking for attention. The clothing represents that this is what there was expected to happen, etc. People who are on the jury will look at that and go, "Oh, as if the clothing now matters." It doesn't. That removes responsibility and accountability from the perpetrator and places it on fabric, right? Clothing is not an invitation. Clothing is not a yes. Clothing is not consent. So
Okay.
we have to focus on the behavior. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want your partner to be safe. The problem is that whenever we focus on the victims and saying, do what you can to be safe, women already know this. Women already know that, but they also know that the clothing isn't what is going to save them in a situation, you know?
Okay, I agree with that. That's just how me and my woman is. Like, she tell me what she don't want, what I shouldn't wear to what's name, and I tell, you know what I'm saying. This is how our relationship dynamic is. But to go to the other one, it's all man unto no man. I don't. What does that one mean?
That all men hold on to misogyny and have a responsibility to unpack it. And women's biggest form of oppression is gender based violence. And so women being wary and cautious of all men is completely understandable.
I can't even say none of that. It's very true. Men telling their partners what. Okay. Men are not the protectors or providers. Uh, I don't. I think it depends on the relationship, in my opinion. Like in my relationship, I am the protector, and my girl, and I kind of just got out of high school 2 years ago and stuff like that. I graduated as a 19 year old, um, and she told me she want me to be the provider and the protector, and that's what I gotta be. You know what I'm saying? I think it depends on the woman. Some women want protectors and want providers. Some
Yeah,
don't.
so that's still that would be internalized misogyny from patriarchy. Like men are not the protectors and providers anyway. So women wanting men to do that is just reinstating gender roles, but also something unrealistic for men to even obtain.
So are you going based off like what statistics be saying nowadays about men, right?
Well, just give me an example of how men are protecting on a daily basis. I don't want hypotheticals of something that could happen. I want to know how are men daily protecting women? What are they doing that makes it exclusive to men?
Well, can I get my own anecdotes
If it's
experience?
something that happens continuously, but then again, that needs to be men. If you're applying it to just yourself, then I could say individually, anything you say right now as an example of how you protect, I could just say my partner does that, and now what? Like I'm talking about women, you're talking about you as a man. So that's not a reflection on men, right? So I'm saying how are men collectively protecting in any kind of way that's exclusive to men?
So how they protect in any kind of way?
And I would say that if it was that obvious to you that men were protectors, you'd be able to fire off loads of different ways.
Is it for okay? So are you trying to say what I see into like on the internet, or what do I see like in person?
Men collectively. Like, I can confidently say that men collectively hold on to misogyny because we've been brought up in a patriarchy, conditioned to believe in certain things, and the system in its entirety does not benefit women in comparison to men. It is misogynistic. So therefore, us taking advantage or using that system in ways that women become oppressed from shows us holding on to that in a lot of areas. That's something that all men can't actually avoid, even if they wanted to. Not until that patriarchy has been dismantled. What are women? Sorry, what are men doing collectively to protect? Like, can you give me an example of anything?
I can say like wars, but I don't know. I'm not very educated on misogyny. That's why. So like
That's
I
fine.
ain't.
But let's go with wars, right? So, firstly, men start them. So we can't call them protectors if they're actively choosing to go and cause harm. And secondly, I live in the UK. I'm assuming, do you live somewhere different?
I live in America.
Okay, so I think the statistics are slightly more, but in the UK, only 0.23% of men in the whole of the United Kingdom are in the military. All right? 0.46% are in the police force. I think in America it's around 1.5%. I could be wrong, but I know it's a little bit more. So that's not men, that's less than 2% of men in your country. So what are the other 98% doing?
Mm, I can't speak for other communities, but I can because I'm a black guy. I'm a black man in America. Most of
I
most of
respect intersectionality plays a huge part in it. I get that. If we're talking about gender specifically, though, like we're talking about men, which is inclusive of all races, all religion, all sexuality, like it's men. Okay.
the reason why I said this is because it's different down here. Um, majority of people that's like your skin color are doing higher things because they were already put statistically in that standpoint. My skin color is protecting and providing. Majority of the time, how I was raised, or not even how I was raised, in my neighborhood, men are teaching their daughters and their sons how to defend themselves and stuff like that. Even though they cannot, even would that be protecting if I'm not tripping right?
So, with the greatest respect, obviously, as a whitey man, I'm not going to be able to comment on race in this conversation. That's why I say to you, I focus on gender. So when we
Okay.
have conversations around men, what I'm stating is statistically, what's measured is men cause disproportionate harm. Right within that statistic, it doesn't say what demographic of men. It's men. So collectively, I'm saying how are men protecting? My point to kind of cover this is firstly, if anything, I would say women are the protectors because when we talk about, you said the military, right? Do you think that working with vulnerable people would be a form of protection?
Yep.
Okay, so I think when we look at the majority of workplace environments that women are the majority of, so like for example, military, majority of men. Fair to say?
Yeah, but I feel like, in my opinion, it's one. They're both playing a part in protecting. One is protecting physically, and one is protecting emotionally and building that man his mentally and physically. One is protecting physically, and one is protecting mentally and emotionally. My bad. Yeah.
But let me continue with it, right? So again, you've given examples of 0. I think Tori put in the chat 0.48% or something like that is military in America, right? What I'm saying is you have mental health practitioners, you have social workers, you have therapists, you have nurses, you have teachers, you have nannies, you have carers, right? These are all examples of protective roles in society where the majority of those roles are held by women. And I would say that if you were, well, statistics show women hold between 20 and 30% of protective roles in society, men hold between 9 and 10. So I'm not saying men can't protect. I'm not saying no men out there do protect on some level. I'm saying that the protector and provider role was always given to a man, and statistically, women do it more. So
Well, I
why
feel
are
like
men labeled as protectors, but women are not?
I feel like women are protecting in the emotional in the mental standpoint, but men are protecting physically. If but you say I can't give
No, if women are
hypothetical.
carers, then they're looking after the elderly physically as well as mentally. If women are teachers, they have to physically also look after children. And midwives, there's a lot of physical involved in that. Nurses, there's
But
physical.
let,
So like,
but let, but let's be honest. If say you said midwives and teachers, if the average man comes in there and both of them, okay, so say the average man comes in, right, and both of them have no fighting experience at all, the man is most likely going to win against that woman. It's like biologically true about that. That's why I'm saying men protect. That's why I'm saying like women and men protect in their own aspect.
we're doing it again, right? The times that you think men need to use that physicality is on the basis that men are being harmful to begin with. So my point is like your kind of view is meet violence with violence. All right. I'm saying that women who are teachers, women who are nurses, women who are looking after the elderly, they have not caused harm to those individuals to be put in that situation to then be cared for or looked after for or protected against. Right? You're talking about a man needing to protect because another man is causing that harm. I don't think it'd be fair to then say men are protectors only on the basis that men have to cause harm for their protection as a role to exist.
So you
So
don't think men? Say my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep talking. My bad.
but just what I'm trying to say is there's no examples that I've heard from you of men being protectors where they're not causing the problem in the first place. Whereas all the examples I've given from women, women are not causing those problems to then protect those people.
But what I'm saying is, so say the man didn't cause the West End, because I can only give you. I'm not really educated on this, but I'm just giving you basically hypotheticals, I guess. Say the man didn't cause the problem, and he's with his wife and he's with his kids, and somebody comes and a man comes in there and tries to hurt his kids and his wife. Let's be honest. The man is he's naturally going to have to stand up and defend his kids and his wife physically. But what I'm saying is,
No, you're doing it again on the basis that a man has caused violence and caused harm. Like if men are causing the problem, like women are not. Like you take people always give examples of burglaries, right?
no, I'm not even giving burglaries. I'm like, my bad. I didn't mean to say it like that. But
No, no.
I'm saying he didn't cause no harm. Like he's not causing anything. He's minding his business. He minding his business with his kids and his wife. And say he on a picnic and a man coming there and he's antagonizing his kids and his wife, says, "I do this to your kids and your wife."
But it's
And
another
he
man. Like again, you've given an example of another man.
yes, that's the other man, but the man that's with his family, he's protecting his family though. Is he not protecting? Is he
But
not
again,
protecting the family?
I think you're missing the key point I'm making, which is a man can only be a protector if other men are violent. And I'm saying that is not a good like rule to live by, which is that we should be protectors because men are violent. We should be educators. We should be stopping that kind of violence. Like that's not what I think is a good way to go in terms of like, hey, this is what I want to strive to be. You know, what if men are both protectors and providers? How are you protecting if the man is at work 5 days a week and something happens to his partner and kid when he's not around? How are
That's
you
when
protecting?
that's when a man comes in and he educates his wife how to defend herself, and he puts pews inside of the house. That's how my house is nowadays.
Two things. One, we don't have that in the UK,
Oh
right?
yeah, I don't.
We don't have those in the UK. But secondly, I love how you've decided that men are the ones that are teaching women how to protect themselves. Like, really? Is that what we're doing here?
Well, I'm not trying to
And
say
your
that's
and your
all.
methods of teaching is with violence, you know?
It's
Uh,
but you got to understand, America's totally. I'm using America as a viewpoint. You're using the UK, so I'm saying, but America's totally different. If a man comes in your house, and oh, I thought I got put out the lot. My bad. If a man comes in your house and he tries to, and I'm talking about America, he tries to come in there. You're going to have to do some type of violence because it's not like the UK.
Okay, pause for a second. I'm going to bring Donedo in, and then I'll bring Darian in after as well, because I think what's happening is you're overlooking the point I'm making again, where every example you give is a man causing violence. Donedo, can I get your Asian pronouns, please? Welcome.
39 she her, sorry. I live in the United States, and I was wondering why you don't think that black women face disproportionate harm and violence from black men.
I guess you can unmute.
Am I not unmuted? Oh.
No, I was saying guest, as in the guest can unmute.
She was asking me a question.
Yeah.
I live in the
Oh, okay,
United
my bad.
States, and
Ask
I'm
the question.
wondering why you think black women in the United States don't face disproportionate violence from black men.
I never said that.
You brought up race, and you said my people don't do that.
No. I wasn't saying it like that, and I forgot the whole discussion of why we was talking, why we was even saying that right there. So, but I wasn't trying to say that. No, I remember I wasn't trying to say that. No, I know.
Lex
I
was
know black.
talking about violence that women face, and you kept trying to say, well, I'm black.
No, I wasn't trying to say
I
that.
said I'm not going to talk about race as a whitey man, because I don't know all the statistics, but again, men disproportionately cause harm.
Yeah,
What do you think the leading cause of homicide for the leading cause of unalivement for pregnant women is?
I would say men, but I'm not educated on that, so I'm not.
And black women are 4 times more likely to be unalived by an intimate partner, which predominantly is going to be a black man.
Oh, okay, I agree.
Black women make up 50% of all pregnancy-associated homicides in the United States. Black women at the hands of black men.
I agree.
So then why are you pivoting to like a at-home invasion when we're talking about the majority of violence against women is done by people they know?
Well, I was giving hypothetical, and I was saying,
But the
I was
majority
saying,
of violence is done by
that,
people they
that's
know.
not, but that's not every black man though. That's the
The
thing.
majority of violence.
I'm talking about the actual good black men that do not do that. I'm talking about the good black men, and they have
I'm
good
talking
men.
about the majority of violence is done by men that we know, men that we care about. When we talk about grape and SA, 80% of the time, women and girls are going to be assaulted by family members. That's fathers, brothers, uncles, cousins, grandfathers, husbands, boyfriends, close friends, and acquaintances. The same men that you're calling good men. 80% of the time, that's who's doing the violence. You guys are not exempt.
But the thing is, guess what skin tone it is most of the time.
When I'm talking
Not
about
trying to speak down on that skin tone, but
stop. When I'm talking about black women specifically, it's going to be their family members who are black. It's going to be their boyfriends and husbands who are black. It's going to be their close friends and acquaintances who are black.
no,
Yes.
no,
That is who black women are around the most.
no,
Yes.
no. So you speaking for every black woman?
Do you know the difference between intra and interpersonal violence?
Educate me.
So you're going to be harmed more from the people who are around you. It's not white men that are coming in doing all this harm to black women. It's the men that they're around every day, which are going to be black men.
So it's
White women are going to be harmed the most by white men. Asian women are going to be harmed the most by Asian men. Black women are going to be harmed the most by black men. That's why it didn't make sense when you try to bring up race when Lex was talking about men.
okay. But to go back to what I was saying, there's some black men that are good out there and that protect.
There's some men of any race that are okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
What is your point in bringing up race?
Huh?
So what is your point in bringing up race to try to make it seem like black men are not also harming black women?
Yeah, but they don't make most of the cause. They don't make most of the
For
percentage.
black women, they do.
Okay.
Like Donedo brought these statistics on it. I think the thing I'm struggling with is when you're talking about the good men, the some good men, you wouldn't be able to know which ones are. So how would you expect women to?
Good question. That's when you, cause I don't know when some, how can I say, I don't know when some, you said, so say, ask it again, my bad, I'm trying to, what's the name?
If you yourself don't know which of those some men out there are good, how do you expect women to know? Like the best way to try and do it is let's say you're walking down the street, let's say it's nighttime, no one's around, and a woman is walking towards you, right? And you both just need to walk past each other to get to wherever you're going. On average, do you think you will feel more uncomfortable or she will in that situation?
She would.
Okay, let's now substitute you out of that hypothetical and replace you with a different random man. Do you think that man will feel more uncomfortable or she will?
Say that one more time.
Let's
trying to-
substitute you out for a different random man. Now there's a different random man walking past her and she needs to walk past him. On average, will she be more uncomfortable or will he?
If she has to walk past him more on average, I would say she would.
Yeah, I think so too, right? So the point is you could keep on replacing that man with a different man, and on average, you're probably still going to say that she will feel more uncomfortable. Some of those men who walk past her will be good men, but she doesn't know that. So she's going to be wary and cautious of all, right? Because these men don't have green or red lights above their head so that women know which ones to avoid.
That's fair. I wouldn't say that's not. I would say that's fair. But the thing is, you can't live. I feel like you cannot live your life like that, though.
That's male privilege speaking.
Nah, like okay. So say for inference, say for example, I had a bad interaction with a bunch of old people. Right. Every time I speak to an old person, I had a bad interaction with him, with them or she or him. Is it fair for me to say that every old person is like that, though?
Are old people disproportionately unaliving, essaying, and raping younger people? Does the system benefit old people in every sector in regards to education, in regards to healthcare, in regards to media, social, legal? Like, is that the experience of the world you live in?
Education, it benefits us?
I'm talking about in comparison to women, yeah. So
No.
I'm talking about all of it. Does all of that benefit old people?
No.
Right, so then it's not systemic. I want to pause for a second because I recognize Darian wants to chip in as well. So, Darian, hello.
Hello. 29 he, him. A couple of things I want to touch on. The first is understanding that when you started speaking about race in regards to black men in America and what they do for their community, about teaching the people in the community how to protect themselves and X, Y, Z, it falls flat when you start to understand where the most dangerous place for a woman is. And that's linked to what Donedo has said already, which is that they are likely to be harmed by the men in their lives that they know. And with that statistic, what goes hand in hand is that for the most dangerous place for a woman to be in regards to the harm or violence she may be exposed to is her own home, which means that there is no real place that a woman can go if she can't even be in her own home. That will protect her from violence, whether or not she's quote unquote been taught by a black man in her community. You've teacupped, and I can't. Okay, cool. And so I need you to understand that first and foremost, because this idea that white people are doing it more is BS. Sure. The Epstein files is largely of that color of people. The reality is that black men are still doing a lot of disproportionate harm to the black women in their lives, whether you want to admit it or not. So that's something that you need to get factual right now. Do you understand what I've said?
No offense. And you talking about, do I understand what you said? Like, but I see you didn't mean it in a disrespectful way. But why?
Whoa! Why have I meant it in a disrespectful way?
No. I said I know you didn't mean it in a disrespectful way.
But what did I say?
Yeah.
No,
Nothing.
like what? Because like that sounds very when you said, "Yo, do you understand what I said?" Like that sound like you speaking like you my dad or something. But I know you
No,
didn't mean it that way. Cause
that,
we from different places, so I know you didn't mean no disrespect. That's what I'm saying. But
Darren's just checking that you're following what he said so far, because there was quite a lot.
yeah,
right.
I
Your dad
I'm
said that to
understanding.
you. He wouldn't be disrespecting you either. He's just trying to make sure you're understanding him.
Right, that's it.
I literally just said I know he's not trying to disrespect me. I understand what he's saying.
But then you wouldn't have said it in the first place. So that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, that you didn't need to say. If you knew I wasn't being disrespectful, why would you say that?
Because I'm telling myself like he didn't mean no disrespect by that, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Because at first I was finna respond in a disrespectful way, but I was like, let me
What I'm
chill. He didn't mean
saying,
no disrespectful
if
way
your
like that.
dad said that to you, he's not disrespecting you. And your reaction is what you're
I didn't
telling
say
us
that
is
my
that
dad
you
was
would think,
disrespecting me.
hold
I'm
on,
saying that he's speaking like
hold
he is
on.
my dad.
I know, and what your reaction is telling us is that you think your dad is disrespecting you, and he has
No,
conversations with you asking if you understand things.
no,
You wouldn't have got triggered by Darian if that wasn't the case.
no, that's not the case. If somebody speaks to you, if you're a grown adult and somebody speaks to you like they're your parent or something like that, you be like, who are you talking to? Am I wrong? Am I right? If somebody's like, sit your, let me see.
Then you're insinuating that that's how Darian was talking to you now.
What, like he was my dad? Like he had like, let me see, like he had a guardianship over me or something like that. Like he trying to tell me what to do. But I know he wasn't, and I wasn't going to take it that way. And I was like, all right, he didn't mean it that way. But
Can we get back
it
on
wasn't
track if possible?
yeah.
Right? The bottom line is, do you
Okay.
understand what he was saying?
You understand what he's saying, but I was finna respond and be like, white tea people in America, not the UK, in America, are caused way more
No,
problems
no,
than yes they
no,
have. Yes,
no,
they have. Are you crazy?
Not
no,
Most of the
black
war,
women.
most of the
Dude,
wars are started by white
dude.
people.
Hold
What are you
on.
talking
We're
about?
talking about violence. We're talking about violence against women. And
Yes,
black men are
yes.
causing, hold on. Black men are causing disproportionate violence against black women.
So do not white tea people cause the most
We're not
our
saying
words
that.
are
You
hold
brought,
on.
hold
I'll
on.
let you
You
speak.
brought
Let me
up
speak.
race. You
I'll let
brought
you
up
speak. Let me speak.
race when Lex was talking about all men.
Okay,
So if
and
you
I
want
and
to
I
talk
and I let
about
you speak. Let me
black
speak.
men, if you want to talk about black men, they're doing disproportionate harm to black women. More than white men are doing harm to black women.
Please wait.
Black men are doing disproportionate harm to black women. That is a fact.
And I really think, and this is why I also said what I said, because me getting you to understand what I just said would alleviate this idea that you're talking about in regards to white men doing the most. Because if it was just white men, we would hear no stories about black men doing it. I said a woman is the most dangerous place for her to be is in her own home. That includes black women, and the chances that the statistics will show that black women being in danger in their own homes come from other black men, not white men. So when you trying to separate us as black men from the white men that are doing this is problematic, because black men are also doing the harm. We are not absolved of that responsibility simply because white men are making up a majority of the statistics in regards to white men, white women.
So who set that system up though? That's the question.
No, we're not even playing. We're not playing. Who set that system up? We're not playing that game. That's not the question that's being had here. What's being said? No, that's not the question that's being had here. What's being said right now is that black men are also doing harm. We're not talking about who set that system up, because the reality is black men are still benefiting from the oppressive system that is. Black men are still benefiting from the oppressive system of patriarchy. We are.
In America?
Black women worldwide are being disproportionately harmed by black men worldwide.
Worldwide. That's a fact.
I was talking about America, but
yeah, but that includes America.
I gave you the stats for America.
But
that includes America.
Y'all go by statistics. I gotta go about. I'm just going about what I see every day.
And
my view is less important because statistics is more right. So I can't argue with statistics.
But
I gotta disrespect it.
But therein like lies the issue. You're talking on the basis of your limited worldview and stating it as fact when we're telling you that actually black men aren't like innocent, or we're not perfect, and we're not like under proportioning the harm that black women face. We are very much so up there as it causing harm towards black women. So you need to stop othering black men, as to say, because you see black men protect people in your community, that is what happens across all of the black people in America, because that's not true. It's like I said to you earlier, you can say from your perspective, you protect and you teach people how to defend themselves, but Lex can actually say, oh, my partner, yeah, does the same thing. Now what? That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, I agree.
So that's the first part. The next part that I wanted to discuss is about this idea that black women shouldn't live their lives cautious of every man that they come across, because that's no way to live your life. And the trouble with that perspective is that we understand that that's not true, because for instance, if I'm handing you a some M&Ms from my bowl, yeah, and I'm giving them to you, and you're
Say your
eating the
bone?
M&Ms. Hello,
You say your bone, or what you say? What you say?
my bowl. A
What's that?
bowl.
A
It's like
bowl?
a dish to hold your cereal in.
Oh, okay. My bad.
If I'm handing you M&Ms from a bowl, and you're taking them and you're eating them, yeah,
Mhm.
and it's going fine, but then in the middle of me giving them to you, I tell you that, oh, some of these M&Ms are poisonous. Are you going to continue to take M&Ms from me, knowing that some of them are poisonous?
No.
Right, right. So imagine right now, men are the M&Ms, and women are the ones going to go, like taking the M&Ms out of it, and therefore coming into contact with men.
So
You
that
would not
means
expect women to continue eating the M&Ms knowing they're poisonous, right?
that means that they stop trying to find love from men.
Well, yes, a lot of women are actually saying that they're not going to be anywhere near men. That they're actually like getting fulfillment from living their life, chasing their dreams, getting money, doing what they want to do, and that is not for us to say that that's no way to live, or that they shouldn't go find love. If they want to find love, that's up to them. But they're actually choosing to mitigate the risk of harm because they know that majority of men are harmful.
Okay. I mean, that's how they want to live their life. That's how they want to live life.
And the second thing is that the understanding that in another way to look at this as well is that understanding that we how many shark attacks would you say happen a year off the
Uh,
top of your voice?
uh I don't really know. Probably a lot.
Nope, nope. You'd
Oh
be you'd
no,
be
no,
hard pressed to
no, my
find.
bad. Let me reset it. It's less because sharks aren't really aggressive. They only really bite
It,
for.
it's about 7 to 11 in the last like 7 years. I think it is something ridiculously small.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, I
Sharks,
haven't looked at it in ages. Anyway,
sharks
the,
get
the
off
point
about
is
more humans than
the point is the point is that we understand that with the limited amount of shark attacks there have been, that sharks aren't something that we should be in close vicinity to. Like, I'm not going to go look to be near sharks just for the sake of being near sharks, right?
Mhm.
And so understanding that with the limited shark attacks, I know they're dangerous. However, there are statistics that show that men are inherently dangerous to women. So with that understanding that we wouldn't go near sharks, why on earth would women want to go near us as men?
uh I mean, that's how they live their life. Then yeah. I mean, it's their life. If they live their life by statistics and they don't feel safe from people by statistics and stuff like that, then it's fair. I mean,
It's not just statistics though. It's real life experience.
but all
Like
women
like
have,
like it's
but
not like
but like most,
the statistics back it up, but most women know either have experienced themselves or know a woman who has experienced some kind of violence or harm.
Okay,
Like,
hold on. Can I say something real quick? I can speak for the women that haven't experienced any.
no,
My
you
mother.
can't speak for them.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
yes, I can.
One
No,
in
you
three
can't.
one in three women will experience sexual violence at least
And
once in their lifetime. So if you
let
hold
me say
on,
this.
hold on.
They didn't interrupt
So
Darian.
if it's a lifetime, you don't know every woman's lifetime. Second of all, when do you think women are most at risk to experience sexual violence?
When they're younger,
No, what age range?
I said, oh, like probably below 13.
No, 18 to 24 college age years at the hands of college men. About a third of American college aged men admit that they would grape a woman if they knew they could get away with it. They just had a study come out called Isolate, Inebriate, Intimidate, Repeat. High rates of sexual force reported when young men given anonymous surveys. It was done on American and Canadian men aged 18 to 34. 95.1% of men admitted to recently forcing a woman to have sex who they knew did not want sex and had not consented. And 65% of the time, they were successful in forcing women into it. What is it called if you force a woman into it?
Horse.
No, what is it called if you force a woman into it?
Oh, I can't even say the
You can
word
put
on
a G,
it.
you
The
can
R
put a G
word.
in front of it. Yes. 95.1% of men admitted to recently forcing a woman. That's American and Canadian men aged 18 to 34. So you saying that you know all these women have been unaffected, how are you so sure that they don't feel comfortable telling you about what's happened to them? Again, you're a man,
That's
you're
right.
in the population doing harm. So most women don't tell this stuff to other men. They tell it to other women. So you wouldn't even be privy to the information.
Okay, that's right. I was just gonna say that. Well, that would even just prove that it would still wouldn't prove it, right? But most of the women in my life are married and stuff like that, but that still wouldn't prove it, right?
Being married does not negate sexual violence.
I just
When did
said
it become illegal in
that.
America? When did it become illegal in America to rape your wife? When do you think that happened?
I literally just said that doesn't make it right still.
No, but I wanna hear when you think it became illegal to do that to your wife in America.
Uh, Never.
No, what year do you think it became illegal?
It's a well, I know it's illegal to like R word people.
Yeah, when did it become illegal to rape your wife in America?
I don't know.
It wasn't always illegal to rape your wife. That was an exception. When did it become illegal?
I don't know.
1994. So I don't know why you would think that being married would negate sexual violence.
But I literally just said that still doesn't prove that it's right. You
Why did you bring up married women in your life? Like
because
that was an exception.
I literally just said I said I was fin to say that, but I said that still doesn't prove it right.
No, I know. I'm asking why did you bring it up?
Before he has explained what he had said and stuff like that, and then I was like, okay, matter of fact, bringing up I know married women or my women in my life whole life are married, it still wouldn't be right and stuff like that. So I was just falling back on that it wouldn't be right for me to say that. But
Okay.
I mean,
I think
yeah,
I think we've had enough of the conversations. To be honest, there are a few other people waiting to come up. Danetta, did you want to close off with anything?
No, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm losing my voice.
Okay. Darian, did you want to add anything?
I'd just like to point out that in this discussion, it's like been very clear to me and probably to those who are listening that you've been quite dismissive. And with that level of dismissal in regards to misogyny and the violence women and girls face, it would not be surprising to me if I came to find out that the women in your life did not think that you were the safe person that you think you are, because ultimately, if you were a safer person for them to be for them to confide in, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. So if my advice to you would be to go away and reflect on this conversation and what kind of harm you have perpetuated, and see how that level of harm it extends to your personal life and the people around you. Although, having said that, you're probably also going to dismiss what I've just said in regards to that in as well, based off what the information you've already given us. But that would be my advice, because ultimately, you consider certain black men within your community to be these pillars of goodness who are teaching people to protect themselves, and actually what I've seen here has been evidence of the opposite. That if someone came to you and told you something, that you would be quite dismissive about it. But yeah, reflect on this, and hopefully you learn from it moving forward. And that's not me being talking to you like I'm your parent or guardian. That's just me observing what behavior you've exhibited in this conversation. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for having me, Lex.
All right, what I was gonna say was, so to go back on what you said, I was not what's name with. I wasn't going against anything that you said. I was trying to get an understanding of what you said and stuff like that. That's why I said you're right. I said statistically, if it's saying all of this stuff, then you're right. I will understand why women think this, and why women don't really like men and stuff like that. I literally say you're right. I literally said I will understand. I literally said all y'all points up here is right, and I understand where y'all coming from. I said that's how they want to live their life. That's how they want to live their life. And then you said some women won't come to me about. No, let me speak, because I let you speak. I let you do a whole monologue.
Wait. Even in your response right now, everyone, I just want to make it. Even in your response right now, I want everyone to listen to the fact that he kept saying if. If that's how they live their life, is that how they want to go about their life from statistics, then you're right. That if is doing a lot of heavy lifting in regards to the level of dismissal. Also, this idea that you care about the violence against women and girls, Danetta have come up here and giving you statistics on what black women face in your own country, and there was no acknowledgement of going, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. In fact, you spent a lot of the time trying to pivot to talk about white men and what they do.
I spent a lot of time getting money.
You're still no. I'm still talking. What I'm saying to you is that even in you trying to respond to me just now, even if you trying to respond to me just now, you proved a level of dismissal, because I said, if is doing a lot of heavy lifting for this dismissal, and you once again, when Lena was speaking to you about the violence black women are facing, you dismissed it in order to talk about white men. So again, I'm telling you to go and reflect on your behavior. You saying, if that's how that didn't tell me that you're listening. Like, that didn't tell me that you cared. That didn't tell me to say anything.
So if I had more sympathy, you would think I care. I literally said I understand where you're coming from, and I said if they live their life like that, because some women don't live their life like that, and some women do. Y'all can't speak for every woman because y'all don't know every woman. But what I'm saying is, I say if they live their life like that, I understand where they're coming from. I literally said I understand where they're coming from. And then multiple women have came to me, my own girlfriend, my own mom, my own granny have came to me and spoke out how they got sexually assaulted before. So they have come to me about these stories.
I'm going to talk about other people's experiences. It was obviously, you said what you said. I don't want that to continue. Yeah, ultimately, I was going to pick up on the fact that whenever Danetta was speaking as well, there was a constant need and interaction of trying to interrupt in comparison to herself as well. Thank you both so much for coming up. Good to hear from you, Danetta, as well.
Thank you.
No worries. See you later. Thank you very much for having me.
Take care, Dorian.
Bye-bye.
Danetta, are you going live later?
Yeah, I will be when you're done.
Okay, I'll probably be another maybe half hour or so. So to those in the chat who don't already follow Danetta, please do drop Danetta a follow. Danetta will be going live a little bit later, doing similar lives in regards to the prompts, etc. And for those that are kind of on the fence of, not understanding everything, it's unfortunate to say this, but if you go into Denetto's live, you will see a stark difference in the way that Denetto is spoken to in comparison to myself. And hopefully that will be part of the education understanding, but not saying that in a positive way. It's actually just recognizing the difference and how clear that is, especially as the women that get harmed in these spaces as well. So Denetto, much love as always. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Right. Okay, so looking for men who disagree. Is it Zon? Zon, no. Sunday? No. Okay. Come. Sunday, age and pronouns.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, age and pronouns, please.
I'm 20 and he, him.
Thank you. Which prompt do you disagree with?
No, I don't disagree with you. I love you so much. I watch you every day. Thank you for having me today. You have a nice day.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, Mush Mush. She's actually been outside all afternoon, and I'm quite hot inside. So with her fur coat as well, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you do it. Indeed, she is a happy one. That's pretty cool information, Lou. I didn't know that. I know she just wants to lay on the table. It's going to happen any second. Here we go. Always the way. It's too warm to move around, isn't it? So for anyone that is new here, we will be live later on at about 7:30 p.m. UK time, between 7 and 7:30. And we go live twice a day, Monday to Friday, Saturday evening, not on a Sunday. There will be some times during the week, though, where I can't do the afternoon live, but we will be live this evening. We'll wait for another 15 minutes. If we don't get any guests, we'll go into a couple of battles to start the week and then come to a close. If you do want to catch up on any of the lives that you might have missed out, you can watch them on a different platform, which I can't really talk about just because, you know. But it's called Lex_Therapy1. I did indeed, Siri. It was quite busy. Janice, I think like just mentioning it, yeah, sometimes the platform doesn't like it. I do need to add that, to be honest. I don't think it is. Sorcery, age and pronouns, please.
19, he, him.
Thank you. Which prompt do you disagree with?
So 4, don't mention misandry until there's no misogyny.
Yeah.
Well, thing is, number one, there never will be no misogyny. Let's be honest here. Even if the majority of the world becomes, the majority of the world involves themselves in feminism, there always is going to be misogyny, right?
Well, since we're both being honest with each other, there is no misandry, so we shouldn't really talk about it anyway.
You're saying there's no misandry?
Can you
Like
give
it
an
doesn't
example?
exist?
Yeah, can you give an example of it?
Oh, I'm not. We're talking systemic here, right? I'm assuming you mean systemic and not interpersonal. Because if you mean there's no systemic misandry, then of course you're correct. But I'm talking
Yeah.
about interpersonal.
But in a personal way, it's just someone saying something that's not very nice, isn't it? Otherwise, like that would be the equivalent to saying maybe men uphold misandry as well, and then doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, but see, the issue with misandry is that essentially what misandry does is there's like a lot of misandrists label themselves as feminist. So that means when a lot of people, when a lot of like young men, like more impressionable men, go on the internet and see people who label themselves as feminist act misandrist, it makes them think that feminism is anti-men, which actually increases the ideology gap and makes more young conservative men, which backfires on the feminist movement because it makes it worse. So I'm not even saying that. So I'm morally saying that misandry is kind of helping attribute to the gap in ideology between men and women, young men and women, because more men are becoming conservative and more women are becoming liberal. It's just that when women are misandrist, it's not helping the gap. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I think that's just kind of Darvo, to be honest. But I'm going to bring Kitty up, who wants to join this one. Hi, Kitty.
Hi, Kitty 42, she, her. That's victim blaming, rhetoric, sorcery.
I mean, if you want to call it victim blaming, you can, but it's not like wrong. It's true. Like if you're young and then you go online and you see someone saying they're a feminist and acting misandrous, saying that men are bad or something, and saying it's feminism, you're gonna think and grow up to think that feminism is anti-men, and that actually statistics that show that a lot of men think feminism is anti-men. So I'm saying they're not helping, right? So calling out misandry is gonna help the feminist movement. If you want to call that victim blaming, then debatably that might even be true. But it doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the impact, though. Like it's calling it out actually does help the feminist movement.
What's the impact?
Okay. Well, like I said, the impact is that it widens the ideology gap between men and women.
I mean, there are more than two genders as well. I just want to acknowledge that. There's
Oh,
non-binary people. Us as
I'm
well.
honestly not well versed in like that type of stuff. I'm gonna be honest. So
Okay,
I
no,
wouldn't
that's
really.
okay.
Yeah, actually, I
I
just
just
say
want,
man and woman because I don't really.
okay,
Not
I just
really
wanted to
that.
highlight that, but that's misplaced responsibility. The responsibility lies with the men that's causing harm. Men have used every single excuse, reason, justification, context to cause harm over centuries towards women and femme-centered people and children. Misandry is not causing a gap, is not causing a reason for men to respond a particular way towards women and femme-centered people. Men have been doing that for centuries.
Okay, I understand. The thing is that I'm not talking about like men who've already hard set their decision. I'm talking about more impressionable, right? Younger, because there's a lot of like youth on this platform,
I'm aware.
right?
I'm a parent
And you
to
agree
young
that kids are
boys.
more impressionable with their ideology. So I'm saying that when they hear this, they grow up. And I'm talking about the youth, right? Because it's the kids, it's Gen Z who's growing more conservative, right? and by proxy, most likely Gen Alpha, but I don't have a statistic on that, so I wouldn't be able to say. So I'm more talking about impressionable, and I just feel like calling it out does help, right? Because if these kids are impressionable, that means they can be impressioned for both sides. So if we label feminism as something that seeks equality and to help men and women, and also we obviously are hard focusing on feminism on like women's issues more because it's more of a thing, but also it's like talking about men's issues sometimes. That's gonna help bring more like of the impressionable men into feminism and actually help the movement, right?
So that's part of intersectional feminism, though, is it's not just about women's rights. It goes beyond that. It's not looking at superiority for women, or it's about looking at equity and equality.
Equity.
Yeah.
Um.
So
Can you explain what do you want for this equity? Like, what are you looking for?
well, women and femme-presenting people are faced and subjected to misogyny in almost every area of their life, medically, in education, in our home life. For example, do you know where women are most at risk of harm? In what environment?
Oh, I'm not too sure about that one. At home?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We're subjected to misogyny and have been from birth. There's not an area of our life where we're not harmed by misogyny, and highlighting what effects of misandry, which there's no systemic evidence out there of that oppressing men or causing harm. Education is key. I do absolutely agree with that. And as young as possible, education for all, because there's many people I'm 42, there's many people, including women like myself, where I'm unpacking my internalized misogyny as well. But education is key as young as possible. But it's teaching anti-misogyny education. It's not focusing on misandry. It is explaining about, yes, we can touch upon absolutely about what feminism actually stands for, intersectional feminism and womanism, what that means. But we can't deny the facts and the stats. We need to be teaching about things like consent from a very young age and framing that. Misandry does not oppress men. Misandry does not cause harm to men. That's not going to be relevant within the education. Do we need to be encouraging things about emotionally regulating the importance of mental health? Absolutely. I think no one would deny that here. But misandry's not causing the impact or not causing a gap that you seem to be.
I'm not saying it's the sole
concerned with.
contributor. I'm not saying it's the sole like contributing factor, but I'm saying it's a factor that's not helping. It's not like it is not helping at all. It's making it worse. Because
It's not making it worse. Misogyny is making it worse. Men not holding other men accountable.
misandry makes more misogyny though. That's the issue. Hate makes more hate.
That's the
It
dark
doesn't.
That's the dark
Well, I'm confused why you guys disagree, because you guys agree that the youth are impressionable, right? If they're introduced to misandry, then they're gonna fight back with misogyny.
Not introduced.
Like
to
that's
that.
like it's just how that's just what happens. People fight back with hate. People
Also,
fight
they're
back with
not
sexism.
introduced to misandry, they're introduced to misogyny. They've already been conditioned to absorb misogyny from the beginning. So when they then hear what women are saying about men, the misogyny kicks in for them to then maybe act upon that. And so they.
But that makes it worse though.
No, it's not that it makes it worse. What makes it worse is that they are not being educated over those years to unpack their misogyny. That's what makes it worse. Nothing's being said about that. So because you're saying then women are not allowed, in rough words, to talk about their experiences of misogyny and talk about how they dislike men's behaviors and why they're wearing a course of all men, to then say that
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like actual like straight men hate. I'm not talking about
Give
experiences.
an example of it, because apart from women saying something online like "I hate all men," where is this so-called example. You know, like these women that say that also probably have men in their lives that they love. They probably have fathers, brothers, partners, friends. So what is it that specifically they are saying that is that impactful? Because what I find interesting is this, right? If women haven't been listened to by men for like 13,000 years on the oppression they're experiencing, the misogyny they're experiencing, isn't it really interesting that the words they say about how much they dislike men, suddenly that is really impactful because it apparently will upset men. But everything else they've been saying loud about for decades and centuries about how they don't want men to oppress them, that's not getting heard enough. That's not having any kind of an impact. Do you not see how that's ridiculous that you're basically saying that expression of hating men is really impactful, but talking about your oppression, we don't care. We're not listening. Like, that is misogyny in itself.
All right, so to clarify, the reason why I'm focusing on misandry is merely because the prompt and the topic I'm talking about. Obviously, misogyny is more systemic. Misogyny should have a focus, but you said mention misandry, and I'm saying misandry doesn't need to be focused on at all because it's not the main issue. But like saying misandry shouldn't be mentioned at all, or people who involve themselves in misandry shouldn't be called out, or something I believe is wrong. Because and I'm not saying that it has a significant impact. I'm just saying it has a impact. So if I said it has a significant impact, then I'll concede. I just mean it has a impact. And since it has an impact, mentioning it is fair. But obviously, women shouldn't be ignored about what they're saying about misogyny and their experiences. And misandry has been used definition-wise, like loosely or incorrectly to hit on women who are just talking about their experiences. But you asked for examples, so I'm gonna give you an example. Yeah. Recently online, there's been a surge of women saying that if they have like a male baby, they'll abort it, or that they don't want like a boy, like baby boy, or they'll treat like a baby boy worse than if they have a daughter. And obviously, men have been doing that with boys over girls, and that's a bad thing, and that should be called out too. But we can't just have these women say things like this and then not mention it at all, right?
Okay.
Right? We can't just like completely ignore it and not mention it at all. Like, you gotta like say something, especially when they're disguising themselves as feminists. They're basically just imposters, and that doesn't really help the movement.
So if you want to look at history in regards to can we not be ableist in the chat, please? Thank you. If we look at history of baby girls, for example, being left in the streets because baby boys have been more sought after, I would highly recommend taking a look at the history of that for a start. Now, again, I'm not going to start deep diving AB rights or anything like that, but a person's choice of what they do with their body, that is up to them. And for their reasons, again, that's up to them. Okay, so I'm not going to deep dive that one any further. But again, what we're doing here is it's misplaced responsibility. We're not actually looking at the stats, the harm, and the evidence that is happening. What is happening is disproportionate harm of violence towards women, girls, and femme-presenting people. That we do know of. We do know of medical misogyny. We do know of medical misogynoir. We do know of misogyny within education, the workplace, and beyond. And also, I came up here as a woman. I've highlighted things. I've got my own lived experiences, as many of the women and femme-presenting people in this space have from the beginning of being harmed in multiple ways. And again, we'll come up here and we'll share this if relevant to the discussion. And we still get, yeah, but misandry. We should still be focusing on misandry. The focus
Can you
needs to
repeat
be
the last bit real quick? Can you repeat the last bit?
Yeah, of course. I'm aware the sound effects came on there. So the women come up here and femme-centered people on the panel and share about the harm that we've been subjected to. And we'll still get men come up going, yeah, but misandry.
Yeah, people should not use either or. Well, people should not use misandry to cancel out misogyny. Like, people shouldn't do that. Yeah, I agree.
What I'm trying to say is misandry is not relevant. That's not what's causing the harm. Misogyny is. Patriarchal conditioning, living under patriarchy, where men benefit most from the system. Misandry is not causing harm. Women coming online and saying what they want to do with their bodies or otherwise is not causing systemic harm. It's not causing individual harm. It's what they choose to do with their body. Yeah, go for it, Lex.
Someone also mentioned this in the chat as a reminder. We had 70,000 men in a Telegram chat. We had 200,000 men in, I think it was Korea, and we had 900,000 men in a group chat in China, all sharing ways that they would harm the women in their lives. So when we're talking about like the odd live here or there, where there are women saying these things, we've got group chats of hundreds and thousands of men sharing the ways to harm the women in their lives. Like, even if you weren't going to talk about systemic, we're looking at that on a, social or personable level in comparison. It's still far and few in regards to the impact of what's being had. That's why we say education system needs to change. Parenting also needs to be inclusive in that, because these boys are not learning about misogyny early enough to be able to fully understand when they go on this live that you're talking about. Why is a woman saying that she hates men? There must be a good enough reason for her to be saying this. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense, right? It's because of women's lived experiences. So I think the impact of boys not being challenged on their misogyny or educated on their misogyny, as in, unpacking it from early on, I think that does far more harm than some women online expressing how much they dislike men. Kitty, did you add anything?
Yeah, the only thing is it's also tone policing women and femme-centered people and their responses to the harm that they have been subjected to. That's essentially what it is. I mean, ultimately, we need to be focusing on what is causing the harm. It's misogyny. That's why I completely agree. Age-appropriate, inclusive education, framing consent, breaking down things such as gender roles, teaching what is misogyny, what is actually causing the harm. Because it's not misandry, it's misogyny. Anyway, I'm going to drop. Appreciate the respectful discussion. But yeah, I need to go take a break.
Appreciate it, Kitty. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, so just to clarify, what I'm going to say is, so I'm not trying to say misandry has more of an impact at all. And obviously everything you guys said was correct. All I am saying is not mentioning or ignoring it is like, well, it doesn't help. I don't think that's a good thing. Like, if you go in the comment section and you see someone being misandrist, then calling them out in that comment section would be better than just ignoring it. Like, if someone says they're feminist and says something misandrist, and then you comment that that's not what feminism is, then that helps people who view that comment section and then are inclined to believe that feminism actually is misandry, because those people are being imposters. So clarifying what feminism actually does help. Obviously, this is on a small scale. We're being realistic. But all I'm saying is that mentioning it and doing something is more impactful than just ignoring it, right? And now, obviously, misogyny should be taken more seriously, and if misogyny has a bigger impact, all I'm saying is don't ignore it. I'm not even trying to say it should be in the education. I'm just saying don't ignore it, right? Because when you say don't mention, I assume you mean to like ignore it and to not give it any mind. And I'm just saying that it shouldn't be completely ignored, because if it's ignored, it's just going to keep growing if it's ignored, right? And then the more people are going to be inclined to believe certain things about feminism if it's just completely ignored. So I'm just saying, if someone sees something going wrong, they should do something about it, right? That's all. That's it.
I was going to ask one question.
That is it. Just that. And the only reason
I'm going to ask one question just because of time wise. I know there's a lot of people that also want to ask questions, but I just don't have the time for all of them. So I just personally want to ask, how often do you go on to or into red pill spaces and combat all of the misogyny that they preach?
When I like see red pill content on my For You page, I'll usually comment against it. Yeah.
You do that all the time, yeah?
Well, whenever I see it, I do. I don't seek out red pill comment to do it, but when I see red filled content on my For You page, I will like call it out, go against it. And I do comment against people who do act misogynist in comments. Like I'll call it out and stuff like that. Because obviously that helps too. It helps the same way calling out misandry would help, not the same impact again, but it does help still. Even if it's like small amount. We're not just gonna call out only what women do and then ignore what men do, because obviously that's not what I'm trying to say here or do.
Okay. Are you about later on this evening? I don't know where you live. Are you in the UK or?
America.
Okay, so I'm going to be live in about 4 to 4.5 hours. Are you around then?
I mean, I'll see. I'm gonna follow you. Actually, I'm gonna follow you like this so I can come back later. Actually,
That's okay.
I guess.
There are a couple of people in the chat who do want to also ask some questions, which I think would take the conversation down a different route, but would definitely need a lot more time, and I don't have that time right now. So I know Darian Donedo want to ask a few questions, and I do see you in the chat, by the way, but I apologize time-wise. I've got to come off soon. So I will be live in about 4 to 4.5 hours. If you can come back then, Sorcery, and if Darian and Donedo and Charlotte can come back as well, then this conversation can at least continue, which would be, I think, beneficial, because there's probably a lot of other things that haven't been unpacked and explored on that, where I think it can be, given a bit more attention that it needs. So if you can, that'd be great. If not, I'll be live again at some point this week. All right.
All right. I'm gonna set a timer. I'll see you, man.
Cheers.
Have a good day.
Apologies, Donedo and Darian. I've only got time now just for like one quick battle, and then I'll be coming to a close as I've got to come off just after 3-ish. Moderators, thank you so much for everything. Appreciate you as always. Donedo and